What in particular about Sheffield Wednesday appealed to you to choose them as your next move?
Well, I think from looking out from the outside in, I follow football, and in terms of history, the club is a massive club, and there's a lot of history behind the club. So that's obviously one of the reasons to come to a club of this stature and this size was, it was an easy decision. I mean, no disrespect to the club prior that, they'd say they're big in their own right, but for me, for the club that I've represented, this is probably one of the, if not the biggest club. So that was easy. And then the second thing, the gap. I spoke to the gaffer, and I spoke to him for a few weeks, and he has a vision, and I believe in it, and I feel that they'll do well this season. And I feel that he can develop me as a player. He was a centre half himself. Sometimes there's pros and cons with that, because he'll probably be on me a bit more than maybe a player who's a striker. But you take the rough with the smooth, and I just feel that it's good for my development. I'm 28, but I personally think in football you're always developing, even if you're 30, 32, 33, there's always things that you can learn, things that you can get better at. So I personally think it's the right club for me, and I want to do really big things with the club. I really do. I mean, I think it's 21 years since Sheffield Wednesday haven't been in the Premier League. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, and wouldn't it be nice to be a part of that, and bringing, helping the club get back to the Premier League where it should be, and that's it.
Tell us a bit about your character as well, because looking at your career, it doesn't seem that anything's ever come easy. You've had to work for everything and to reach this stage now.
So yeah, when I've always been in like a professional outfit. So I've done my YTS and I've done my learning. Not earlier before, back in doing academy footballs, I was at Wolves and Warsaw for a period, but I really got signed at Crew Alexandra. That was under the reins of Steve Holland, Dario Gradi, and really top coaches there. So a good upbringing moving forward. Got to the youth team, done my YTS there, and I didn't end up getting a professional contract. And then from there, it was a case of, well, what do I do now? I had to go into non-league with Henford Town. Whilst I was in non-league at Henford Town, obviously that was part-time, so I had to do something full-time. So I ended up doing a degree, and that was in applied sports science. From there, I went back into full-time with Kidderminster Harriers, who were in conference at the time, the Conference Premier League, National League. So then at that point, I had to obviously switch my degree, my degree, my post, not undergrad, it was, to part-time. So then I had to flip it. I ended up finishing that, and I ended up getting a degree. But yeah, in terms of football, I went from Kidderminster, I had 2 solid years there, and then I was fortunate enough to get picked up by Michael Appleton, who brought me over to Oxford, and that's where I started my football league journey. To be honest with you, ended up getting a promotion there, done well for a few years, and then I went to Wigan, and then I got another promotion with Wigan, and played in the Championship twice. And it was unfortunate with what's obviously happened at Wigan, but for me, even though they went down, I don't see it as a relegation. I mean, we finished 13th in the league last season, and the players done everything that they could do on the pitch. It's just unfortunate for us what happened at the top, the hierarchy. We ended up getting a 12 points deduction, but I don't see it as a relegation. So to me, it's not a relegation on my CV, and may that continue, touch wood.
The manager has talked about trying to bring a culture change almost to the dressing room and getting a new, fresh outlook there. It's pretty obvious already speaking to you that you're going to help contribute to that. But what do you think is needed, in order for a team to have success in terms of characters, attitude, culture?
I think a togetherness, that's one of the biggest things. Anywhere where I've been successful, whether it's been Oxford, Wigan, it's having that togetherness, and not just in our positive times, also not in our successful times. Even when when it becomes tough, you know, it'd be very hard to go the whole season without a defeat. So it's when you're in your, when you're having your bad times, you have to have that togetherness. But at the same time, also we need to, have high standards. That's one of the things that I think was evident in those successful teams. We had high standards. So of course the manager and the coaching staff are going to guide us, and they're gonna demand standards. But I personally think that the group should be doing that as well. They should be managing the group. So there'll be players who I've already noticed. I'm still learning about my players and my teammates. But there's a lot of characters in this dressing room that can actually, manage the group. When it comes to sessions, training sessions, if let's say the standard's not as to what it is, we can actually demand those higher standards as a group, not just the gaffer coming in and say, oh come on, we need to do better. But I think we've got characters in the building, and we're adding towards that. The gaffer's bringing in new players as well, and I generally believe, I think there's a good vision there, and I think we'll do well. You can't ever guarantee promotion, but we can have a real good crack at it. And obviously, there's a few hurdles, there's a few milestones that we have to achieve before we start to look at promotion. And I'm sure we're gonna have a real good successful season. I think we're gonna hit it head on, and I'm sure we'll do well.
Now, at the moment, the club is going to start the season on minus 12 points. What kind of a challenge is that going to bring, and how are the squad and the staff going to approach this challenge coming up?
It is a challenge. I've had experience with it already with Wigan, and I'd say it's probably better to have it at the start of the season than it is at the end. But we almost pulled the unthinkable at Wigan, and one of the things that stood out when we knew we were going to get to 12 points was that togetherness. Obviously, our staff, coaching staff, and everybody actually at the club, we've already had our meeting and we've addressed it. We know where we are, and like I said, with the milestones that we've already set, we know we're starting with a 12-point deduction. But as quick as we can get those wins, the less we can talk about it. I think we just need to have it. We just need to take it game by game. You can't look too far ahead. Starting with Cardiff away, I think it is. We need to make sure that we're fully prepared and we're equipped for that game, and we can just do the best that we can do in those games. Hopefully we'll try and make sure we have that right performance, and hopefully that will get us the results. But you have to take it game by game. You can't look too far ahead. And by the way, it's not guaranteed that you're going to win 4 games in a bounce. It can happen, and obviously we're going to aim to do that. But we just need to have that kind of resilience and just that focus on, game after game, and make sure that we're fully equipped and we're fully prepared. And it is a focus that we need to have towards it, because, we are behind everyone else. But we've got characters in here. Honestly, don't write us off yet. We need to make sure that we hit that milestone first, get over that. And we've also got targets set moving, up the leagues. I wouldn't be here if I didn't think that we could get promoted. I generally, of course, it's hard to get automatic with the 12-point deduction, but it's within our realm. It's within us to push on, and really get promoted. I personally think that we've got enough in this dressing room to come over the first milestone, which is get past that 12 points, and then continue that momentum to build on the season, and then we'll see where we are then.
Just finally, it's a unique pre-season, isn't it? Because it's starting a little bit later, the
Yeah,
season's starting a little bit later. How are you
yeah.
finding it as a player in these unique times?
Well, for me, it's a bit different because I am still coming to the back end of my rehab, still recovering from injury. I am integrated with the players. I've been able to have my, just your generic chats with the lads. Some a bit about football, some personal, some, just getting to know the teammates. Um, but it is, like you said, it is a quicker period. So the boys have been working hard and I've been working hard and, we really want to hit the ground running. So, we've left that to our, the medical team and, our analysts and our sports scientists to really focus on our physical side. And it's always hard pre-season, but it's been very intense. But the lads have been going through it. It's very important to get through as much as you can in pre-season because it sets that base moving forward in the season. Minimal injuries, and I think the boys are doing well at the moment. I think the boys are doing well.